worship according to how worthy we are. We worship according to how worthy he is. And he's always worthy. Come on, somebody, he's always worthy, always.
If you ever stop learning, you have given up your right to be a leader. And so as a pastor, if I want to stay fresh, if I want to stay excited, if I want to stay focused, then I have to keep learning. And a lot of pastors come to me in coaching and they've let their learning slide. And they get involved with me and they start learning new ideas from me. They start engaging in the resources or the books that I recommend. And they reignite, they rekindle that learning mentality. And then they get really excited and their passion grows. And so, when the passion in the leader is high, the passion in the church will be high. But when the passion in the leader wanes, more times than not, that's from slacking off in your learning. I mean, sometimes it can be sin and other things, but more commonly, it's just kind of this malaise that sets in, this general contentment, this settling for average. And I'll get to that in a moment. That's where very soon after, the passion in the church will wane, and then the attendance in the church starts to wane. And I know you wouldn't be at this meeting if you weren't excited about the future or passionate about the future, but hopefully I can stir up in you your calling. I want to encourage you in your calling. I want to encourage you to stay a lifelong learner.
Look at Romans 12, where Paul talks about how we become transformed by the renewing of our mind. What is that he's talking about? It's your worldview, where you're coming in with a secular worldview, but it's God's word, God's principles that reshape that worldview, renew your mind. They transform your life because you're going to live out what it is you believe. Why is it so important that your beliefs be right and that you get that right first? Because you do what you believe. You're never going to continue in a lifestyle that you don't believe in. You're always going to do the things that you believe are true and right and appropriate. And so getting those beliefs right is very important. But it's important because once your mind is renewed, then your life gets renewed, your lifestyle gets renewed. Later on in 2 Corinthians, Paul wrote about the importance of taking captive every thought for Christ. Again, your beliefs, recognizing what the world is doing and how it's trying to twist our minds, but not allowing that to happen. Recognize that this whole issue of worldview is something that we in the church rarely talk about. We don't think about it very much. I'm even shocked by how little those of us that teach at seminaries talk about worldview. And yet it's the centerpiece of what we need to have happen in people's lives for them to really become disciples. Recognize that everybody has a worldview. You need to have a worldview because it's the mental and emotional and spiritual filter through which you make every decision. Every day you make thousands of decisions. Most of them you don't even realize you're making a decision. But you make thousands of decisions, and every one of those goes through your worldview, goes through that mental, emotional, and spiritual filter. Why? So that you do things that you think are right and appropriate and good. And so we've got to get that worldview right. See, because it affects every choice that every person makes. You need to have a worldview because essentially it's like the operating system of a computer. If you buy a computer, a machine like this, and you don't put Windows or whatever the other operating systems are on these machines, you can turn them on and they won't do anything because they don't know how to make decisions about what to do next. Your worldview is your operating machine. So everybody has one, and it's important to recognize that every person develops their worldview by the age of 13. By the age of 13, every person has a fully formed worldview. Now, it's not sophisticated at that point, but they have had to make enough decisions that they've integrated information and experiences and relationships and ideas and principles. They put it all together and tried to figure out, how does life work? Because that's what a worldview does. It helps you make sense of the world and your life within it. So even children have a worldview by the time they reach the age of 13.